go out to the West. And it is just remarkable to see this collection of teams. This is the region of death to me, and it's the region of brands. Florida, the top seed. How about St. John's and Rick Pitino? You've got Bill Self meeting John Calipari. Are you kidding me on Thursday in Providence? For that to be a day one game is absurd. You've got Maryland in the Crab Five against Penny Hardaway in Memphis, potentially in the second round, but will we even see Maryland in Memphis? And oh, by the way, the back-to-back reigning national champion UConn Huskies are on the 8 line. Texas Tech, Missouri. Drake's in here. So, Rob, what's your favorite thing about the West?
The bottom of that region, Kansas, Arkansas, St. John's, John Calipari, Bill Self, Rick Pitino are going to be in the same building at the same time. The storylines there are ridiculous. And here's the other thing I love about it, guys. When I was kind of getting ready for Selection Sunday, in my head, there were like 7 or 8 teams where I'm like, look, I want to try to find a way, no matter what happens, to get these teams into the Final Four. It was the 4-1 seeds that we ended up with, right? It was St. John's, and it was Texas Tech. And those were 3 of the teams that I was like, hey, you know what? I think they're going to try to get these teams into the tournament or to the Final Four, all kind of end up in the same region. So I think that it is absolutely loaded in the West. Nick Clifford has been as hot as anybody in college basketball. Tyon Grant Foster in Grand Canyon. You guys remember everybody picked them to be the 12-5 upset last year. And I think it was, was it Alabama they played in the first round that they gave all kind of hell to? Drake in Missouri.
No, they won a game. They won a game.
Yeah.
They beat St. Mary's.
Beat St. Mary's, yep.
Yep. And I mean, look, you could very realistically have 3 double-digit seeds win in this region. You also have a guy by the name of Dan Hurley that's won back-to-back titles that is facing off with the team that might be the best team in college basketball in this moment in the Florida Gators. Like, there's just the West is completely bonkers loaded. I think that it is the best region that we have in this NCAA tournament bracket, and there's more storyline. It's unbelievable, man. I cannot wait to see what happens in this West region.
Matt,
I'm so glad I'm on with you guys right now, not Jeff Goodman, because if I brought this up, Jeff Goodman would call me a Gator homer because I spent 11 years of my life working for that program. Florida's the best team in the country. They are the best team in the country. And to see what they did in this SEC tournament and the wins that they've had at Auburn, at Alabama, and then to beat Tennessee twice. I know they got blown out by Tennessee, but today they flexed their muscles, and Florida's the best team in the country. Now, with that being said, to line up and play against UConn in the second round, assuming that UConn gets through Oklahoma, I mean, what a matchup. I mean, the defending that back-to-back national championships against a Florida team. This is the thing with the whole committee. They love the storylines. So you're going to have UConn play against Florida in the second round. The last team to go back-to-back before UConn was who? Florida. That's what we get in the second round. That's what we get in the second round. I got the 2007 Final Four chair that I'm sitting on right now. Not a flex, but a little bit of a flex. But this bracket, like when you see it, like even the Grand Canyon game against Maryland, and Rob, you just brought it up. Tyon Grant Foster, Ray Harrison is back. This is a team that won a game in the NCAA tournament. They're going to play against the Crab Five in the first round. Like this is going to be a battle in that first round matchup. So, and then the bottom of the bracket with Rick Pitino, St. John's. Look, it's hard to not give any of the teams that got a one seed, but St. John's, had the SEC not had this historic season, St. John's is deserving of a 1 seed.
Well, I agree with you. And let's stay right there. For the committee to give us the potential gift, and I don't want to overlook Omaha, but of St. John's and either Kansas to start. Let's just say it's Kansas. So what's standing in the way of Bill Self and Rick Pitino is the other, and Hunter Dickinson trying to keep his college career going. And you know there's going to be a sense of urgency. But think about this. What have been the biggest question marks with both Kansas and St. John's all season long? Perimeter shooting. So who's going to step up in that game? Who can knock down some of those perimeter shots? Now, I think St. John's has more weapons. I think Ejiofor. How about Ejiofor facing his former team? He transferred from Kansas.
Yes, that's a storyline. We have three guys, three coaches that are all currently in the Naismith Hall of Fame. They're all currently in there. They're all in the Naismith Hall of Fame. Two of them are going to play each other in the first round of the NCAA tournament, and then possibly someone else in the second round of the NCAA tournament. Think about that, Fanta. Three Naismith Hall of Famers.
And then there's a world where 5 years ago you could have said, we'll never see John Calipari and Rick Pitino ever again meet each other. There's a world where earlier this year you're like, yeah, that's never going to happen. It just won't happen again. Like, that's very real. And we could, if Arkansas were to pull it off over Kansas, Cal and Rick despise each other. They don't like each other. Nice. There is zero love lost. Really? It would be an all-time press conferences, everything. The theater of that would be elite. Elite.
How will the handshake be?
Guys, this is how we'll sum it up, right? There are 6 active coaches right now that have won a national championship coaching in college basketball. 4 of them are in the West. 3 of them are in Providence.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Right. Fanta, that's another storyline. Pitino back in Providence.
Pitino back in Providence.
He's back in Providence.
No, and that's a town that loves basketball. And that building, you both know this well. I'm here to tell you, America, that place is going to be bonkers loud because the fans travel that are part of these fan bases. Kansas fans go anywhere. They would go to Jupiter for a game. St. John's fans are going to travel.
Arkansas, nice weather down here.
What's that?
It's nice weather down here. They should come to Jupiter for a game. I would love that.
Right. Oh, by the way, in Providence, Matt Painter's in Providence with Purdue. I mean, it is ridiculous, and that's in another region. But the fact is, it's crazy. Now, I think Rob, the most intriguing first-round game is Missouri and Drake because so many of us have loved Drake with Bennett Sturts and Daniel Abreu and this story from Ben McCullum. And here's Mizzou, who's had a tremendous year behind Mark Mitchell and Caleb Grill. And I mean, just how tough they are and how they can drill shots and everything that they've done. What do you think here, Rob, of that game? Are you willing? I've got Drake. I'm taking Drake right there. There you go, America. I'm taking the 11th seed in Drake. What do you think, Rob?
Yeah, I'm with you. Randolph was just on, and he likes Missouri here because it's the athleticism advantage and the fact that they kind of play that switching man-to-man that Leonard Hamilton made famous. And his take was, look, they don't have enough guys that can win one-on-one battles on Drake, but I just think that they have too many creators. Their offense is too successful, and they run too much good stuff. I tend to think that it's Drake here as well, but I initially saw it and I was like, yeah, I have to take Drake. And then I listened to Randolph talk and I'm like, oh man, maybe I don't have to take Drake here. So I don't know. Where are you at with him, McCall?
Yeah, I see both sides. You got to wonder too, like just with Drake, like the distractions around, is their coach going to be there next year? You know, I mean, every single time a job opens up, like this guy's name gets mentioned, Dennis Gates is not going anywhere. Dennis Gates is going to be the head coach of Missouri next year. So you wonder if that plays a factor, just the distractions. Look, Drake's good. The spacing that they play with on the offensive and floor, they've won 30 games, 30-3. My only concern would just be that, like, you know, where the players at. I mean, but the NCAA tournament, when you get there and you walk into practice and you walk into that arena and you see your name up on the nameplate in your locker, your adrenaline completely takes over. So, I mean, this may be the most intriguing matchup of the region.